Okay, as I continue this big bad evil guy theme, what I'm going to do is kind of introduce ideas for people to ideas and stuff for people to like, take and run with and everything. So I got this nice big frost giant miniature and everything. So if we go to the actual monster manual, you can see this good old frost giants as I turn to this page and everything. So the stats they give for the Frost Giant has an armor class of 15, patchwork armor. His points are 138 hit points, 12d12 plus 60. It's got a speed of 40 feet. Now, its abilities are Strength 23 plus 6, Dex 9 minus 1, Con 21 plus 5, Intelligence is 9 minus 1, Wisdom is 10, and Charisma is 12 plus 1. It has saving throws of plus 8 for Con, plus 3 Wisdom, and plus 4 Charisma. It has skills of Athletics, plus 9, Perception, plus 3, and damage immunities to cold. Its senses are passive perception 13. Languages giant, and it is listed as a challenge rating of 8, 3,900 experience points. So it has a multi attack the giant makes two great axe attacks. Of course, gives the stats for great axe melee weapon: attack plus 9 to hit, reach 10 feet, one target, hit 25, 3d12 plus 6 slashing damage. Ranged weapon attack for rock is plus 9 to hit, range 60, 240 feet, disadvantage, one target, hit 28, 40, 10 plus 6 bludgeoning damage. And of course, with the miniature, this one, as you can see, it has an actual club. So in previous a previous page, like it does give like a description of like the actual frost giant. So like what I'll do is I'll keep it there so that people can pause and read, and then of course the next page you can see like the different the hill giants and everything. But the concept of like using like a frost giant or whatever is if you get back into like the glory of giants video, what you can do is in a sense introduce use these as ideas for hello as another kind of idea for like the big bad evil guy. So the idea of using giants would be in a sense if what comes to mind is like doing like a dwarven centric uh, campaign sense. So like if you get like a in the Pathfinder video of like the book of like the lost omens, that's the travel guide and someone for books and everything. So the whole idea like with the dwarf centric Pathfinder as a do lost omens high helm. So if you get into that video, like what you can do is kind of get an idea of at least with the concept of the Pathfinder. Of course, I'm pulling it from like the 5th edition monster manual and everything. So you can kind of in a sense shift back and forth, and so it's going to take a little legwork to kind of shift the stats from 5th edition to Pathfinder, but it shouldn't be too hard, especially for those of that are more experienced. But for new DMs, I'm also doing this for new DMs to give you ideas to kind of oh hey look here's something you can do that's out of the ordinary. Of course, like I've stated before, most of the time people jump onto vampires, liches, and dragons, and so I'm kind of introducing different ideas so that way people can come to these videos and be like, oh hey, he talked about this, and let me build up this idea. So now, having gone over the stats and everything, what you can do though is you can actually write up uh, the frost giants themselves as PCs or whatever. In a sense, that could be your DM PC type of deal. So as a DM, you got to be all the NPCs, all the monsters, and so this could be like a way for the DM to shine as a PC, is being the big bad evil guy. So the concept of the frost giant, like what you can do is yeah, pretty much write this up as a cleric of the giant's god or goddess, whatever. They could be a cleric of that, and they're trying to proselytize or bring forth the back the glory of the giants, and they're trying and of course with frost giants you're thinking more of a northern mountainous regions. So like of course, if you get into like Nordic mythology, like frost giants are big in that too. So like you could also have like a Nordic mythology themed campaign set, and like of course the idea that comes to mind is like, well, hey, look, we can run a campaign like where we're the gods or whatever. You can play as Odin, Thor, and the Freyr, Freya, Loki, and you're going up against the frost giants type of deal. So like that's another idea where to introduce the good old frost giants. So, but like with the writing it up as like the idea of writing up your big bad evil guys as characters. Think of like named characters like in adventure books like the Strahd in the Curse of Strahd, or the Eve of Ruin with Vecna, the Prince of the Primordial Lich and everything. So with named NPCs or big bad evil guys like that, you can kind of take the concept like that, and in a sense create your own versions. And so like with the whole like idea of like frost giant, and of course like with the miniature I have that I keep showing, is that like you can in a sense a cleric would be like a prime example, like a war club, and like the big bad evil guys trying to bring back like the in a sense the giant civilization. And like you could have the PCs trying to stop that from happening, because like it could quite possibly like the with them bringing back the giants, like the civilization to the pinnacle, they could try and like in a sense enslave the other races. And so it could be like the reason why the PCs get involved. And of course like dwarfs are usually like the stereotypical ones that go up against the giants in most campaigns and everything, but it doesn't necessarily have to be dwarf centric or dwarfs like with the High Helm book I showed, and I do have a video on that as well. What you can do is maybe they're starting to encroach on human lands, or they're starting to encroach into like the frost giants are now starting to come down out of the mountains into the forest and stuff, and like are threatening the elves, and like so that that way you have different ideas of how like you can get different kinds of characters in a sense motivated to like in as hooks, character hooks into like the stopping the giants and everything. So like I said, like with the actual frost giant as like a BBEG, you could have him be like the evil cleric of like the head honcho of the giants church and everything, and he's like I said trying to bring back the giant civilization to the pinnacle, and he's now starting to lead war bands and starting to like is in a sense like coordinate a military campaign to try and enslave the other races. And so that could be a way to like introduce a frost giant as like the big bad evil guy. So continuing this series, what I'm going to try and do is not just use miniatures like this and everything to introduce different types of like big bad evil guys, but maybe quite possibly introduce different types of monsters that maybe especially new DMs wouldn't necessarily think to be able to use as like, oh hey, here's like something I can use that like, could be like something different, and then I could write up my own campaign and everything. So to each his own. And so like I'll say like as new DMs, I'd say like if it's your first time DM, get like a pre-made adventure, like Curse of Strahd, or like maybe like a Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen. Run through that first if you're a new DM, so that way you can gain experience. If you're a seasoned DM and you want something different, here's something cool that you could use that like that you're not using your stereotypical like monsters as like your big bad evil guy. But like again, if you're a new DM as well, and you don't necessarily want to use a pre-made adventure and everything because you feel like you're too restricted, and you feel like you're being railroaded through like like, oh, this is the adventure and I had to follow it directly, I want to do my own thing. The whole idea of these videos is to introduce new big bad evil guys for both new and experienced DMs to be able to like, oh hey, here's a cool idea, let me write up this character. And like and now I'm not necessarily going to say like write up the stats I shared at the beginning. You could use that as like a framework, but like if like for instance like I said like the big bad evil cleric frost giant, you might want to up their wisdom and intelligence a little, and like maybe lower their strength and con. But like it's up to you how you write the character. I was just going over the stats to kind of give you the background of the base information that is found in the monster manual, so that way you at least have a framework of how the giants are portrayed in the monster manual before you like, oh hey, here we go, let's do this and everything.